I believe that imposter syndrome is a good problem, which is a crazy thing to say and to hear because one, how is a problem good? Problems are inherently bad. And two, even if there were such a thing as a good problem, how can you say something that has syndrome in the name is a good problem? Now you have to work with me while I show you the light. Or waste your time. There's only one way to find out which one is going to be. Oh, okay, you're still here. Let's go. First, I need to explain why there is such a thing as a good problem. Life is a succession of problems, Abi. One thing we can agree on is that it is basically impossible to completely eradicate problems. Even when you do, the alleviation of one opens the door to a new kind. If you're broke, you have money problems. If you become rich, you now have a new kind of money problem. What to do with it, how much to save, how much to invest, what to spend your money on, what business to start, black tax, financial security, personal security. You could get robbed. That's not something you had to worry about when you didn't have any money. Now you have more to lose as a problem. It can't keep you up at night. If your problem was being single, when you get in a relationship, the singleness problem has been solved. But now you're sharing your life with another human being, and that comes with its own responsibilities. If you hate your job, that's a terrible problem. If you quit, you fire a boss, and you start a business, yay! You no longer have a terrible job and an annoying boss, but now you have 1,000 bosses in the form of customers and clients. That's assuming you even have customers. Oh, that one is a different problem. Now, maybe you can't directly relate to any of these examples I've just given, but I am sure you can remember a version of this in your life, past or present. Tell me in the comments, those of you that couldn't wait to leave secondary school so that you go to university where the life is free and you don't have to wear uniform anymore, but you now found out that there's a very thin line between enjoying your freedom and ruining your life in university. All the people who couldn't wait to leave university and join the real world, you now join the real world and see that the shege is never ending. Anyway, now that we've established that problems are a part of life and that we can never fully rid our lives of them, what's there to do? The only choice you have is you must seek to constantly improve the quality of your problems. Since you cannot remove them and stop them from creating new problems, what you can do is to be committed to constantly growing in a way that if you ever stop in the middle of a stressful day and ask yourself, what was bothering me today that is stressing me? You're able to say, this is a better problem than the ones I had 5 years ago. So for example, if your car that you got 6 months ago stops on the road because you had a flat tire, that's very unfortunate. It's a big problem, Abi. But it's a better problem than the ones you had when you didn't even have a car, when you couldn't afford transport, when you used to fight to enter bus. Do you get? Now, get this. The markers of success aren't only found in big milestones. We need to be able to celebrate marginal improvements in the quality of our problems. That is a mark of success. An improvement in the quality of your problems is a mark of success. All that English that I just spoke from the beginning of this video till now is to tell you that there is such a thing as a good problem. Now let's talk about why imposter syndrome is a good problem. First of all, what is even imposter syndrome? You shouldn't assume everybody knows. Internet sources define imposter syndrome as the condition of feeling anxious and not experiencing success internally, despite being high performing in external objective ways. This often results in people feeling like a fraud and doubting their abilities. Wikipedia says those who have it may doubt their skills, talents, or accomplishments. They may have a persistent internalized fear of being exposed as frauds. Despite external evidence of their competence, those experiencing this phenomenon do not believe that they deserve their success or luck. They may feel like they are deceiving others because they feel as if they are not as intelligent as they outwardly present themselves to be. Is that you? Is that you, sis? Is that you, bruv? You know what? Come closer, gather around. I'm gonna say it. Imposter syndrome is a high quality problem. Here's why I can say that. The reason you are able to doubt yourself and feel undeserving of your success is because you had the success to begin with. Now, that's a problem that inexperienced people don't have. Only people who have had some form of success fear that they won't be able to replicate it and they might be seen as a fraud. Imposter syndrome is most common among high-achieving individuals because they never feel like anything they've done is enough. Everybody has that friend. You know that friend that results will come out, you got C or you got D, and then they got a B and they'll be crying that they got a B because they were 1 mark away from an A. I hate those people. I mean, I'm those people sometimes, but yeah, you know how it is. Like they know about everything that is possible. And because of everything they know about what's possible, everything they've done just doesn't feel enough. The crazy thing about growth is the more you grow, the more you know, the more you will know about what you don't know. Right? So anytime you see somebody who's like super proud, you just know they don't really know anything. Because anyone who has educated themselves, everyone who has given themselves to knowledge, to insights, has gotten to a point where they realize and are constantly aware of how much there is to know that they don't know. Right? So if you have imposter syndrome, you started to experience it with growth that came from a willingness to take daring steps into uncharted territory in your life and career. And when you enter a new space, it's normal to feel like you don't belong. Even when 1,000 people say you do, you still do not feel like you belong. This is a normal experience. Seth Godin says, the cost of doing work that helps other people is that you're going to feel like a fraud. And that's a really small price to pay. See, imposter syndrome is not a problem that needs fixing. It is an unavoidably recurring part of growth that must be managed. The good news is you can learn. Think about it this way. A pool full of water has the capacity to drown a human being. However, if you have learned how to swim, you're at a lower risk of drowning than someone who has never learned how to swim. Notice that I say if you have learned, because everybody learns. Nobody's born swimming. You're not Aquaman. It's the same pool with the same amount of risk, but these two people, person who learned to swim and person who didn't learn to swim, they view the pool differently based on their level of knowledge and experience with navigating a body of water. So here's where I'm going with all of this. Stop trying to eradicate imposter syndrome before you take steps, because it never really goes away. Ask anyone you look up to. Every successful person experiences imposter syndrome, but it doesn't stop them from doing what they know they need to do. They know the risk, they feel the fear, but they do it anyway. And with each time they venture, they get better at navigating it. No one was born a swimmer. They learned. You learn to navigate it and thrive in spite of it. That's how you move on to higher quality problems. So I hope I've been able to convince you and not confuse you that imposter syndrome is a good problem. If you have imposter syndrome, it means you're killing it, or at least you're attempting to, and it's not dead, but like it's gasping for air. If you genuinely have imposter syndrome, it means you've worked so hard, consistently improved the quality of your problems to the point where you now have this high quality problem. Remember what I said earlier about markers of success? Exactly. See how successful you are, fam. And you're here crying. Kai.